Hello and welcome to the back nine of round 3 of the 2025 European Disc Golf Festival presented by Coolbet. We're in Tallinn, Estonia at the Song Festival grounds at the Rockstar Layout. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We're your two hockeys.
Honk. And we are watching some nice, clean golf. Always some trouble out here. There's lots of OB to find. There's lots more birdies. Kind of the two hardest holes are behind us. And these are some pretty clean scorecards all in all. We did get to see some of Ella Hans's round shooting a 9 down, a new course record at this point.
Missy Gannon not quite able to find as many birdies as she has the past couple of days, but there's still time on the back nine. There's always time at this course. Let's kick things off with this pretty gentle par 4 compared to the rest of the par 4s that we play. The tee shot, you have to make it through those two protected trees. Ideally, you want to land somewhere around this little muddier area. Further right is better for opening up the gap to the second shot. This green is wide open and flat. No OB you're really worrying about unless you really saw one off or accidentally crush one a little bit too deep. This is one that everyone's hoping to, at the very least, have a circle 2 birdie look. It played as the easiest hole of the day today.
I think it's been top easiest every day, or
yep. Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, this is a nice one to try to score on after some tough holes, and that is an excellent tee shot. Anything past that path and to the right of those trees, couldn't ask for more. Eveliina flipping this a lot. I think too much, and that probably helped her, those branches.
Yeah, those trees can be mean. You can find OB over there. But what's nice is that regardless of if you go OB right or kind of turf one into the middle, you can recover the par. The only place you don't want to go is a little bit too left. We'll see what Missy has to work with over here. She may have some low-hanging tree branches, but as long as you're willing to pull out a fastest, you can play a skip shot.
Yeah, it's kind of a hero shot to get all the way there, though, from that left side. Take something special. All backhands through the gap today. Cadence trying to get this to turn over to the right just a little more. I think she's pretty much right next to Missy. Maybe a little bit less pinned.
Eveliina a little shorter than you want to be, but it is fine. Wide open. She does flip this disc straight out of her hand and almost starts flirting with the OB on the right side. Both of her last two shots just a little on the wild side.
Yeah, just a little more turn than we're used to seeing from her. Cadence actually left with a fairly open shot. Does have to keep it nice and low and still try to get that skip like Madison was saying. That's great. Missy just a bit more tucked, needs a bigger skip. Nice.
Yeah, she does a really great job of getting that disc to skip at the very end. It can be hard after covering that much distance to still have enough spin on your disc.
And one of the best drives that we've seen, I think the only other one that was this far was Eveliina in day 1.
Far enough that Kristin's able to work a forehand. That is incredible. You
right?
Don't see that very much on this hole.
Ever?
Maybe ever.
And everyone on the dance floor, Eveliina going to be out first in circle 2. Long look for birdie.
Yes! Huge birdie putt from Eveliina. After a couple of kind of wild shots, that putt looked so pure.
You can see her kind of breathing out a little sigh of relief, like, what am I doing? Banging huge circle 2 putts, that's what she's doing. That was pure.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of pure,
Yeah.
that's the kind of putter she uses.
Thank you, Erika.
Oh, okay. Just in case they didn't know at home. Speaking of challengers, not as good.
Not as good. It was close.
I mean, I can't just change.
Challenging
Well, yeah,
approach.
but that's not the name of the putter. I have no idea what Cadence putts with. Let's look.
We should know because she is one of the best putters probably on tour right now.
It's true. Soft links. I got no jokes for that. I'll work on that.
I links it. Chase card check-in with Silva Saarinen on the next hole. This is a par 5 that distance-wise is pretty friendly, but this tee shot does have some teeth. We are at a further pin position today that adds, I don't know, 100 feet to the hole. If you go out of bounds off the tee, as long as you're further down here, you could recover your par fairly easily, but in this new pin position, we'll have to see what the FPO field does.
That is a rip. That was just a standstill. Look, she's smiling. She does
She
not
knows.
do that. She knows that was sick.
Valerie trying to follow suit, doesn't quite get the turn on it. She won't be as far, but still out in the open.
Yeah, pretty big shot here. Probably close to 300 feet. You know, a little bit less than that. Kind of a big turning shot to get just inside the circle, it looks. And Valerie, kind of a string of Christmas lights on her round. Lots of birdies, lots of single bogeys. And we have not seen the eagle yet on this hole. It is going to be a little harder now, but still possible, I think.
That's the furthest second shot I've seen all weekend, I think.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
It would have been cool to see it. Ooh, nice hit. In the short pin position, she would have actually been putting. Look at, did you see Valerie's scorecard?
Yeah.
Not a par to be seen.
2 great birdies on this slightly longer pin position of hole 11.
And Silva in the lead with that turkey. On to hole 11, the hole we just watched. It's a par 5, 771 feet. Madison already kind of said everything there is to say on the hole, so I don't know, what did you see anything good out there on the course? Anything funny?
There's a really nice tree on the where the tee shots land here. It's called a mock orange and it smells amazing. So I spent a lot of time on this hole smelling. It's really beautiful. The new pin position, it doesn't really change how the hole's played that much.
Just the final shot, yeah.
Yeah,
correct.
but I don't think there will be much scoring difference. Again, this hole has played fairly easy as a softer par 5. And even with the added distance, I think we're still going to see a ton of birdies.
I think it makes the eagle harder or like less feasible is the
Yes.
only difference. But the birdie's still, I don't want to say easy, but very gettable.
Yeah,
And
this tee shot is, again, just the teeth of the hole. As long as you land safe here, you're going to be able to recover probably a birdie.
Kristin had so much power on that forehand. That thing was still going, and it checks up to a nice spot. Eveliina way over the path. These are huge tee shots.
This path kind of has the hallway effect where it really stretches out in front of you.
This is also an excellent shot from Cadence. And I mean, that's so far. So to see shots land 40 feet farther than that is pretty insane. Missy with more of a conservative shot, which still works fine for the birdie. The most important thing is just to keep it in bounds off the tee.
You want to hear something crazy?
Yeah, always.
Guess how many total OB strokes there were on this hole today?
13.
Okay, I would have guessed in the high teens also. There were 4.
Whoa, wasn't there 12 yesterday?
Yes.
Wild.
So
Everyone just figuring things out,
Yeah,
dialing
really.
it in.
Really dialing it in. 4 out of bounds total is crazy.
That's so good.
The second half of the hole, it is pretty difficult to find out of bounds, but this tee shot is so tough. You can see that OB stake right there by Kristin's drive. She's going to opt for the right side of the fairway. This does bring a lot more low-hanging... Oh, no, she's not. She is going down the left side, and that is so good.
So much power from like a straddle forehand. She's got to be the best in the world at that specific shot. It's so hard to get power from that position. Cadence left with a kind of nice open tunnel on this left side. Throws a huge turning shot.
Oh my God.
Is she going to eagle it? I mean, I think she's... Yeah, wait. Circle 2?
She's putting.
Sick.
It was an incredible drive. Really using the hill and just her skills.
Eveliina also in a position distance-wise to get all the way there, but as you can see, she had to deal with those center trees a lot more than Cadence and doesn't really get it turning enough. She's going to drop pretty short. Still has a chance to birdie.
Opting for the backhand here. I mean, the forehand here. The backhand line is pretty well guarded on this new pin position.
True. This was the first one today that I forgot moved. Did that ever happen to you?
You know.
Yeah, I got up there. I was like, oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Okay. Missy's third. Trying to work that hyzer line because, as Madison said, the kind of straight at it backhand line is pretty guarded, and you can see all the trees in Missy's way. Gonna curl up right on circle's edge.
Missy with kind of a theme today of coming in hot. She keeps finding herself on the deep side of the green.
Kristin's third is perfect. That's looking like 4 in a row, which we're calling a chiff chaff.
Yeah, Kristin adding a chiff chaff to her decorations.
That is a great sentence.
Here's Cadence with an eagle look.
Cool.
Really nice line, just a little bit too much steam on it.
Missy still searching for that first birdie.
The Gulf of Finland in the background. This is such a cool hole. You're right along the water's edge.
Eveliina missing left on that birdie bid.
Cadence with a great birdie after the few eagle looks in the field.
Yeah, there can't have been very many people who have reached circle 2.
Half the field birdieing. And I wish there was a stat for how many eagle putts there are.
Right? Eveliina converting the par comebacker nicely. She's definitely not happy with that one after such a fantastic drive.
Kristin in the bullseye for another birdie.
Stacking them up.
At this point, we walk up and over on this cool little walkway for the players. It goes right over the main entrance to the Tallinn Song Festival grounds. I'm sure there are spectators just pouring in right now. And immediately out the gate, they get to watch hole 12. It's 574 feet, one of the more difficult par 4s of the day. The out of bounds line on the right side keeps players from getting too aggressive. The big arms are going to land right on the other side of this wall that we just flew over. Everyone else going to be just short of it. With this challenging approach, the green is wide open, but the out of bounds on the deep side and left can come up quickly if you throw a little too hard. Most of the time, if you're on the right side of the fairway, you have an open look. But on the left side, you have to get a little bit tricky with either a forehand or a super, super low ceiling backhand.
And this is kind of the common mistake ending up on this left side. I don't even want to call that one a mistake, though, because it's so far up there.
Yeah, the trees are out of play, I think, for the most part.
Yeah, if you land a little shorter than that, the low ceiling can really get you, but what a drive. And it's just so difficult to do what Cadence is doing here and kind of make yourself throw over OB the whole way, but it's a nice way to get down there and out from under those tree branches.
It's also tough because Erika said it yesterday, but that light pole is right in the desired line for the hyzer, so you have to kind of throw a teeny bit of a flex to get around it before you can get the hyzer. You can see Eveliina's disc turning just slightly. She's going to be unfortunately pinned up against the base of a tree. We'll see what she has to work with.
Missy working the right side nicely. Let's see if she can get up and over, and that's still fine.
This is a tricky little shot here.
For the backhand, I think it sets up pretty well for, I mean, a very powerful sidearm, but still, this is a huge turning backhand.
And you see this happen all the time. The discs just kind of run out of steam and fade. You see a lot of discs landing encircled too deep.
Cadence even more pinned, putting a pretty extreme turning angle on this disc right out of her hand. And I mean, wow, she committed, kind of over-committed, and finds the OB. She'll have a putt, though, to save par.
Eveliina has enough room to work the backhand.
Yeah, this hole does get a lot easier if you can get up and over that shelf.
It turns into one of the easiest holes ever.
Yeah.
Just if you're on the short side of the wall, it's strangely very difficult. Kristin, unfortunately, pinned up against an electrical box in the fairway. She's going to have to throw a standstill sidearm, which thankfully is one of the strongest suits of her game. She will leave that one just a tiny bit short and have some work left for the birdie putt.
Missy from what I'm going to call 28 meters. She's closer than that.
Yeah, definitely closer.
Something about the basket in the field, I thought it was farther.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an illusion for sure. 13 competitors got to circle 1 in regulation. 30 got to circle 2, so it's just really difficult to access circle 1 here. Cadence almost converting to the par save from out of bounds.
Kristin for 5 in a row.
The Chiff Chaff with a golden sombrero. We've got 2 of them wandering around these festival grounds.
Do you think they'll ever meet?
I hope so. There's still a chance.
And a nice birdie from Eveliina there, getting 3 out of the last 4 holes.
It's so impressive to string together birdies out here.
Yes.
Because even though every hole is birdieable, it's a gauntlet. It really is. There's so much out of bounds, and you really have to be throwing the disc purely and making every single putt. So cool to see people stringing them together on such an unforgiving fairways.
Kristin's 6 down now with those 5 in a row. Hole 13, a downhill par 3, 410 feet. It doesn't really play much shorter than that because of just how tight you have to keep it. You can get squirrely and challenge the light post if you're feeling crazy, but realistically you just need to pipe something down this fairway and get a little bit of fade. You do see some tight flex shots, but a lot of times you see the disc just kind of landing short and or left in circle 2. It takes a lot of power and control to get all the way down there for a putt.
We Could really feel the wind here today as well. It was a ripping right to left crosswind, sometimes with a little bit of headwind as well. Pretty difficult wind for this hole. Kristin really trusting this disc right along the the light pole line, and barely coming inbounds at the last second.
Yeah, and I think normally without maybe so much wind, that would be a perfect shot,
Yeah.
but it's just so hard to get through this one cleanly. Wow, what a rip.
Yeah, for these distance
So
players,
stable.
it is nice to be able to just crush one. As long as you get around that tree, you are likely going to be... oh, actually, that OB line is pinched over there. Never mind.
It does bubble some, though, around that tree.
But if you're throwing like the 320 distance, the OB is pinched right where you want to land your disc. You can see Missy keeping this nice and low to avoid the potential of finding that shorter OB corner.
Yeah, that's definitely the par play from Missy, which is surprisingly hard because it's so narrow.
It is so hard.
Cadence also just playing for par, keeping it nice and low, same as Missy.
The hill just doesn't really help that much with the distance on this hole.
Mm-hmm.
Only 6 competitors got to circle 1 in regulation, and only 15 out of 46 got to circle 2 in regulation. This played as the 4th most difficult hole today.
Missy, maybe a little half run from there. She is maybe more in the string of gray than we've seen anyone all year.
Yeah.
Long string.
Very long string. Eveliina, not impressed with her bid there.
Doesn't this look farther than it is?
Yes.
Something about when they're in the field. A good run from Kristin, ending her birdie streak, but a nice par.
No birdies from our lead card on 13. There were 6 birdies on the day, and we'll do a quick shout out to Sophia Dunica, who parked the hole.
Nice.
Show off. What an impressive shot.
She probably somersaulted afterward, too.
Kristin kind of in the battle right now with Silva Saarinen from Chase Card, Ella Hansen in the clubhouse, not able to battle anymore, but she has done enough already.
Skipping the hole 14 flyover in this military zone over here. You want to kind of punch up this hill a little bit farther than where Kristin landed if you're going for birdie, but this is an exceedingly difficult hole to birdie. You need a ton of distance and perfect placement. You can either kind of punch straight up the hill or maybe slightly more left, but the OB comes a little into play if you're too far left.
This hole usually plays in the top 5 most difficult holes. And I think we're kind of seeing competitors figure the hole out a little bit more. But in that way, I don't mean birdie it more often.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing a lot more players committing to just settling for par here if they're slightly out of position.
Yeah, same as hole 7, I think.
Yeah, it's very easy to find yourself not quite where you want to be. Missy might be in a good place to go for it.
Yeah.
She might maybe want a little bit more distance, but if you're any bit left of that, unless you have a very powerful and are willing to throw a very risky sidearm, there's just nothing there for you, and it's where a lot of discs filter.
Yeah, that's where Eveliina is. It'll be interesting to see what she does. Cadence gonna have her hand forced to play for par most likely, but I don't know. She's young and has no fear, so we'll see.
She does have no fear.
Right? Kristin farther on the right side, which can kind of be nice to then attack on the second. And she's going for it, and it doesn't really work out, but it's safe with a short approach. Yeah, Cadence not really left with much here. Just playing for par. That looked fine, right?
Yeah, I think so.
She seems worried.
That OB line is right on the left side of the trees. It could have trickled in, but I think she may be safe.
Missy's in a great spot to go for it. Still tricky, don't get me wrong, but it's there. That looks...
oh, no.
I was going to say sawed
Oh.
off. It's okay.
It is. That's going to be probably right on the line. You can see how scary that shot is. Eveliina.
Oh, going for the risky shot, and that's, I think, early.
Yeah.
I think she's trying to go around those trees, and I'm not sure exactly where she went out, but looking at bogey at best.
Here's Cadence. Just a little chip shot for her third. This green is guarded by that one big tree, but she has no problem sliding it into the bullseye.
Eveliina's fourth after that OB.
Only 9 players got to circle 1 in regulation. There were only 5 birdies on this hole, but 67% of the field parring.
Nice. Kristin's third, a little forehand harp shot. Just going to leave that a little short. And Missy barely inbounds. Once again, trying to find that first birdie of the round, which feels crazy to say on hole 14. But as Madison said, she's staying very composed out there, doesn't seem overly worried. I think a little disappointed, or frustrated rather, with that one.
Kristin in a wide straddle to get under these low-hanging branches, and she is able to recover the par.
Just leaving it short to give the crowd something to cheer for.
Yep, give the people what they want. Long putts.
Eveliina cleaning up the bogey, which single bogey on this one isn't the worst. Kristin still leading the way, 1 over Silva, 3 over Ella. Hole 15, a scoreable par 4 at 541 feet. You want to get out of this little bit of a tunnel and get as far as you can here. You don't want to be too far left or right, however, you want to leave yourself an open shot to go over this water hazard and try to give yourself a nice look for birdie. There are some key guardian trees that if you don't land far enough off of the tee, I think can kind of cause you trouble trying to pick a gap from out of position. And if you the drop zone is just for the there's a mandatory, right? It's just, oh no, is it for if you go in the water on the second? We haven't really seen it come into play.
Yeah, I think it's for if you go into the water and never cross.
Yeah. Kristin really low on that drive. It's weirdly easy to do on this one with the low ceiling. It'll be interesting to see. I think she's out of position and might have to lay up.
Oh no, there is a mandatory.
Yeah, I thought there was maybe one way over there.
It's not really one that you see FPO players messing with at all. That's why we have never really had to deal with it. Yeah.
Huge drive from Eveliina.
So impressive. That is further than a lot of competitors land on this hole.
Yep, Missy, kind of in a more typical landing zone. It was a great shot, but I think just highlighting how huge Eveliina's is. And Cadence out there fine. From there, it's probably 315 feet still.
Yeah, she's going to have some work left to do. You can see her kind of stressing there. It's it looks a little bit windier here today than I saw for most of the weekend.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just am surprised to see her going for it from there. And also...
so good.
It's so good.
I wonder how far she was. That's huge. What, every bit of 350?
Yeah, absolutely.
And she just looked comfortable going for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wow.
Not a decision that we would see most players make, and glad that we got to watch it. Cadence going for it as well, and what a great shot onto the green.
Wow, stressful.
Missy, so much closer than both of those shots and still really taking your time because it is still a hard shot.
It really is.
Just speaking to how difficult those last two shots were. Missy trying to swing a hyzer in. She takes the middle gap and she'll find her way inside the circle.
Finally to Evelina's drive.
This is insane.
She can throw a really low speed disc, which it looks like she does.
But again, a similar problem where she just turns it a little too much. She is inside the circle. Looks like she's doing something different with her throw.
Come on, Missy. Yeah! Commanding putt there.
She's back.
On the board, baby.
I think that brings her back to even par for the round.
Mm-hmm. She points at her watch. That's funny.
It's game time, baby.
Eveliina gonna airball that one right, leaving that stressful comebacker. Cadence for her birdie. Good hit.
A lot of birdies on this hole, over a quarter of the field birdieing, but also a lot of bogeys. It puts it right in the middle of the pack, but it's just one of those holes that everyone knows they can reach the birdie, but man, it can stack strokes quickly. Kristin, unfortunately, going to catch a lot of chains, but not stay in the basket. She'll have to settle for a par. Still, though, a nice, clean scorecard.
The dreaded 3-putt for Eveliina. Can kind of take the wind out of your sails. 2 bogeys in a row as well.
You'd want your putt feeling good to move to hole 16, our first elevated basket of the day. Hole 16, here it is, the first elevated basket of the day, but that's not the hardest part of the hole. Look at this gap. These trees are placed perfectly where it doesn't quite feel comfortable to throw any shot in your bag. The low ceiling does not help with that either. This 312 feet really stretches out, feeling closer to 330 or 340. You're not worried about out of bounds really anywhere on the green, but your first shot, if you hit a tree, OB is definitely in play. Also, if you catch a tree early, the approach to the green can be tricky because you want it to be nice and close if you're trying to save par.
Missy up first after that first birdie. It's about time, girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she apparently said while tapping her watch.
Missy's going to find her way to circle 2. The red hot zone on the heat map. 11 competitors getting to circle 1 in regulation, 27 to circle 2.
Cadence, similar story. She actually might have squeaked into the circle there. Kristin early catching a tree, but fortunate to stay in bounds, and I think she'll have a clear look at it. Ooh, Eveliina pretty high. Catches some branches, gonna drop short, but it's fine.
I keep reminding myself that a lot of the European players, this is week number 5 in a row
Good
for
point.
them. And fatigue had already set in just starting the Norwegian stretch of events. So the fact that we're tacking on a 4-day major after 2 Pro Tour events in Norway, I think fatigue is really setting in on some of our European players.
Missy from distance. Gonna be a par. Cadence looking for a birdie. And kind of airballing it there. She seems surprised. Seems like there's a bit of a right to left wind happening.
Yeah, that did not help.
And pretty big comebacker here. Cadence gonna... Ooh, man, still have a little bit left. And that's kind of one of the bummers of an elevated pin. If you miss with any kind of speed or power, you gotta still make a putt coming back. And boy, that's a nightmare.
And even though you know it's elevated, it still can climb into your head and affect you on the putting green for the rest of the day.
Cramo. Eveliina missing another putt as well. And man, it's hard to stop the bleeding sometimes when those bogeys start stacking up. Nice putt from Kristin.
There were only 6 birdies on hole 16, showing you just how difficult this 312 feet can be. I'm going to do a quick shout out, though, to Deanne Carey and Cynthia Klesberga for parking this hole.
So cool. Cadence going to take the double there. Some tap-ins behind the camera guy.
Let's really spotlight our media. They're doing a great job this weekend. Valerie Mandujano on the chase card on hole 18.
She's going to tie for 4th. Right now, a birdie here could put her into lead card contention.
Look at this.
Ooh.
What a shot.
Pretty. Skips a little bit outside the circle. She's deadly from here, though. Boom.
Wow, a master of angles and on the putting green. What a birdie from Valerie Mandujano to finish out her day after what looks like a little bit of a string of gray. With that double bogey, Missy's going to jump Cadence bird in the leaderboard. Still Ella Hansen holding on to that 3rd place positioning.
Looks like Valerie going to jump into tie for 3rd with that 5-down finish after that birdie. Hole 17, a par 3, 308 feet. Got to make the double mandatory. If not, there's a drop zone. The OB kind of just runs along the grass line on either side. You see most good shots, like really good ones, kind of land right around this path and maybe skip into the circle, but it's another one that it is just really hard to park. Takes a lot of power. It's a really tight line, and there's often, was it a left to right?
Yes, strong left to right.
Missy gonna show us almost a perfect play. It's just a little too low, but a nice straight shot. That looks solid from Kristin. Like I said, just kind of skipping up and over that path. That's perfect.
Kristin just beaming today.
Glowing.
Let's see if Eveliina can get this disc straight on a line. Look at that. Oh, she's going to catch.
Robbed.
Yeah, she's going to catch the last tree. She will be on the putting surface, though.
Cadence. Maybe a bit flustered, taking a little extra time, a little extra breath. Gonna hold on to that one, kick a tree, but I think stay safe.
This is a tricky little approach. You can see that electric box and the trees create a pretty brutal tunnel to the green.
It's funny, there's an electrical box on the mirror of this hole on 8 too, that makes the same tunnel. A true mirror. Ooh, nice shot.
That's so good. This played as the 3rd most difficult hole yesterday. It's in the top 5 today with only 4 birdies.
Missy with a very long look. Eveliina, after that tree kind of robbed her of a little bit more distance, just gonna lay that one up. Let's see if Kristin can convert her fantastic tee shot.
Kristin, one of only 4 players to be inside the circle.
Yeah.
And one of only 4 birdies as well.
Cool to hear the local love. Cheers are just a little louder for our local and current leader.
Eveliina taking a par, hopefully really soaking up the final week of her year as the current world champion as we head into the World Championships just in a couple weeks.
Leaderboard holding strong, heading into the final hole of the round.
Here we are. We watched Valerie Mandujano throw a laser beam to the green and then a laser beam of a putt as well. If you do not cross, there is a drop zone. That's not easy. On the left side, still demands a challenging, slightly downhill shot. Everyone in the field can reach this green. It just really requires a lot of control over your nose angle. Did we have wind on this today? I don't think we did.
Right to left?
A little bit of right to left.
Yeah.
Not as much as you would expect after the last hole, just a slight bit of right to left. It's player's choice here on how aggressive you get. The distance players are going to take this big hyzer route to the right like we see Kristin doing. She doesn't quite get as aggressive as you can, but it is still good enough for a birdie look from circle 2. You see a lot of players as well kind of crawling over the wall on the short side and landing deeper in circle 2.
Missy, let's see if she can get under par for the round here.
Ooh.
It's a nice shot, very committed, hanging out really wide.
Yes,
Gorgeous.
Missy.
That's my favorite line, kind of hanging out way over there. And then it kind of skips left instead of skipping straight like Valerie's did.
I'm a little scared to go out here.
It's nice.
It is.
Lots of room. Oh, and that one spikes nicely for Eveliina. Cadence also trusting it way out right, letting the disc fade perfectly.
Yes.
3 inside the circle out of 4 is so good.
Yeah, only 15 out of 46 competitors got to circle 1 in regulation. We get to watch 3.
Kristin up first for her final birdie bid. Oh,
Wow.
why not?
Do it for the fans. What a great way to end the round. What a round from Kristin Lätt today.
Yeah. Finishing 8 down, which would have tied the record if it weren't for Ella Hansen getting the 9. Let's finish with one more Jomez. Such a fun round to watch from Kristin. Putting herself a few strokes in the lead going into Championship Sunday.
Eveliina with a confident miss, unfortunately ramping off the top of the basket, and she's going to have some work left to do. Cadence also with just a slightly different putting swing happening right now that maybe came from the 4 putt. And we hate to see some putting woes entering into the chat as we finish out this round.
Come on, Missy. Yeah.
Yes.
Missy gonna finish 1 under par with so much respect for her, staying in it, staying calm. And she's gonna be, looks like, still in 5th place, so in striking distance with a good round tomorrow.
And just like that, we wrap up moving day of the 3rd major of the year. our first European major of 2. It's so weird to have a little major run like this.
Yeah, back to back.
Tomorrow we're going to watch Kristin, Lätt, Silva Saarinen, Ella Hansen, and Valerie Mandujano attack this course for the final day of the European Disc Golf Festival here at the Tallinn Song Festival grounds.
I know they call it moving day, but it is crazy to see Ella jump 15. Kristin jumped 18 yesterday.
Yeah.
Cadence jumped 11. It's a lot of moving.
And it could happen really any day here on this property. Once again, we're going to get lucky and move through this entire week with really great weather. I think we have another forecasted day of sunshine. I think maybe it's supposed to be a tiny bit cooler, but they keep saying that.
So it'll be warmer.
Yeah. So we're very excited to wrap up this major week here in beautiful Tallinn, Estonia. Don't forget to go check out the YouTube. We're almost to 500,000 subscribers. Let's wrap it up. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the Two Hot Geese.
Honk.
Watch your body and I feel that sunshine. Get up on my body, know it truly, I feel fine. Get up, watch your body and I feel that sunshine. Get up on my body, know it truly, I feel fine.